All right, so we're going to be getting into it, discussing Thor, Love and Thunder. They came out with a teaser trailer today. That's what we're here to discuss. And it was actually like a real kind of teaser trailer. Usually they'll say like this is a teaser trailer and it's 3 minutes long.
Yeah,
you know,
true.
They'll do that. You know, like the Doctor Strange thing. They'll say teaser trailer and it's like 2 minutes long. It's like okay.
30 seconds. Yeah.
Yeah. So here, we do have kind of like a little teaser, kind of just giving us the state of Thor now, what's kind of going on after all these events. I mean, Thor, when you really look back at it, it's had kind of a tragic, kind of life these past few years or so. You know what I mean? Lost his father, lost his mother, lost his brother, lost his best friend. It's just like...
Lost the Avenger, like he's out of the core Avengers. I mean, yes, Black Widow and Stark have died, but as far as like the people who are still around, he's lost the most by far, and it's not even a contest. Like it's really rather tragic, actually.
Yeah. Were you a fan of Fat Thor, as they call it, and what they kind of did with him with there in the end
so
game?
You know what's so I know like some people were like, oh, they're making fun of his weight, da da da. Like I was hearing that complaint a lot. What I love about that is that, okay, a lesser director, like as far as the Russos, would have had when he gets, a Stormbreaker and Mjolnir back for that final confrontation, would have had the lightning and thunder hit him, and just he goes right back to like slim cut Thor. And the fact that they show him going like, okay, he's still a capable warrior, and it's okay for him to not be okay at the end of where Endgame leaves him. Like, it's a process. Like, depression is a fucking process. And the fact they didn't just have him revert right back to what he was is something I went, that's a really, like, subtle message. I don't know if a lot of people picked up on, but it's something that I actually really enjoyed. So, yeah, I actually really enjoyed his arc in Endgame.
Yeah, so you're a fan of what they've kind of done with the Thor character overall, making him in Thor Ragnarok more of a humorous character, more of kind of a funny character.
Yeah, because you can only do the Shakespeare shit for so long, and after Dark World, I remember leaving the theater, and that's the only MCU film that I genuinely despise. And I remember leaving the theater going, okay, you guys need to. You need to do something different with this character. And then, Taika Waititi comes in, that weird, brilliant bastard, and he injects Thor with this energy that it really needed. And it's funny, I don't love Ragnarok. I think Ragnarok's really good. I think I gave it a B- or a B when I saw it. But I know a lot of people that's like top 3 MCU films for them, which I'm like, that's awesome. I'm happy that people dig on Ragnarok as much as they do. This looks more like what I want from a Thor film, is what I'll say before we jump in.
Okay. Yeah, we'll be jumping in that. Oh, shit. My alarm going on. Shut the fuck up. Sorry about that. Yeah, so let me be showing the trailer here a little bit and just going kind of scene by scene, kind of with the trailer, kind of following along with it, and kind of give our just kind of thoughts on it as we kind of follow along to it. So you kind of see kind of a montage, a little bit of kind of when he's kind of kid and then a teen and then when he's an adult kind of running. I like how they do when they do that. They show the glimpse of him in his classic costume, where you see his
same.
We see the winged helmet, which is going to make a comeback in this trailer as well with another character that pops up at the very end. We're going to be getting to. So you see that, and it kind of him with this talks about how like where he is in the state of his life post Endgame. It's like, okay, I fought one of the biggest battles anybody can ever fought. I fought for the entire universe, fighting Thanos. What's kind of left after that? And it's him trying to find himself. And I guess it goes to show you that, hey, it's never too late to find yourself. I mean, he's, 5,000 plus years old, and he's still trying to,
Yeah.
figure out what he wants to do, with his life. You know what I mean? Hey, his whole world got shaken up, so he's still kind of looking what to do. It's a new. You see kind of now current Thor. It's a little bit of a newer look. He's kind of got with his cape. He's kind of got like some fur on it now, so it's a little bit of a newer look than what we've seen. So there's that. And then he's walking in flames. What do you think that is with him, the walking in the flames?
So I think that's tying back to the end of the trailer. So we might want to come back to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So then it cuts to him kind of bearing Stormbreaker there and come kind of walking away from it. And you see kind of this beautiful kind of outlook and everything like that of him looking upon it and him saying.
So yeah. That's important. Him bearing Stormbreaker right there, because it's a very nice callback to how Thanos had his armor, Scarecrow style, to start off in game. I feel like that's a direct callback to that. Also, because we've seen Groot, because Stormbreaker is made from one of Groot's branches. There is technically, and I think this trailer is definitely hiding this shit. There are multiple Thor variants in the comics, including a Groot version of Thor, and I don't think that's a coincidence that he's bearing Stormbreaker. So I don't know if we'll get Thor Groot like outright, but I wouldn't be surprised. I think that's very telling that he does that, and that we've seen the branches like grow once they're planted. So
okay. Okay, so you kind of see that. Then let's see, moving on from that, kind of so you see him working out. So you see him how he's going to get back into shape. Where we see him now. What do you call that when you do that? Where you move the chains like that? Was that battle ropes? Is that what they say? Yeah. So you kind of see this is how he's kind of going to get back in shape. Which I don't know. Do you like him getting back in shape, or would you have rather preferred him to stay bigger?
So I love the fact we're getting an 80s montage for him to get back into shape. I love that. I'm a sucker for shit like that. It's very Rocky. In that sense, what I love about that image of him doing the I think it's called power rope, I think. Okay. But what I love about him doing that is two things. One, the trucker hat. If you look closely, that's the classic Avengers logo from when the book first came out in the '60s. Which is a great Easter egg. And if you notice on the top of the hat, it's crossed off there and it says Strongest Avenger, which calls back to Ragnarok when he was having that argument with Thor or with Hulk, saying that he was the strongest Avenger. And so great little Easter egg there. And then the other thing, when you see that when you go to that skeleton, I wonder if that's our first MCU Titan in that movie or in that shop, because that could easily be a god, because Gore the god butcher, that that is the villain that he's taking on, but that could be the first look of a Titan in the MCU, or that could be a Celestial that just hasn't been identified yet either. So there's a couple places they could go with that, but I love that shot right there.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I do as well. I mean, as far as him kind of getting back into shape, I mean, everybody pretty much knew it. I mean, you're not going. I mean, Chris Hemsworth ain't working out for nothing, not to show that shit off. He's like, hell nah. And I'm not doing all that work not for you to show that shit off. Like, nah, that's
exactly.
And I don't know, if he stayed big, it would have matched what they're doing with God of War Ragnarok, where you see Thor in that game, and he looks like a huge power lifter in that game. But I like seeing different versions of how he looks and everything like that. So I have no problem with that. That's a very interesting thing. I didn't notice the cap that he's wearing, the trucker hat. I didn't notice that. I assumed it was maybe something that he got from Star-Lord or something like that. So I guess there is Avenger merch out there. It's nice. He got some, some own Avenger merch, everything like that. And yeah, I guess it could be maybe a Titan, the skeleton that you see could be a Titan. or something like that. That's also kind of very interesting. Didn't really pay much attention to that. I'm surprised with the song choice that they use. They're using in this trailer "Sweet Child of Mine," which is from Guns N' Roses. With that, that's a '90s group, '90s song, and this is supposed to be more like an '80s thing. So I'm surprised they used a group from the '90s.
This was 87. 87.
"Sweet Child of Mine" came out in '87.
Yeah, that's off of Appetite for Destruction. Yeah, it's 87.
Okay. So I was kind of confused on that. Okay, so yeah, so they're all good then. They passed the test then. Okay, good for them. Yeah. So that's a classic song. So they're using that there. So that's pretty nice. Yeah. All right. So moving on from that, you see as well him also. You see him with this is him with the Guardians of the Galaxy. It seems like they're getting ready to fight some big battle here, and you see when he shows up his new physique, his new shape, and then Star-Lord is absolutely just kind of over him. It's also a funny scene when you see him whip off his jacket, that it goes straight into the face of Star-Lord. It just covers him all up. Yeah, I mean that's pretty funny, I think, as well. Chill said bad bitch Thor, he said.
Right.
And then he also said that he's working at Planet Fitness when he was doing like the power ropes there. So I mean, yeah, I guess it shows that of him kind of going like, well, I mean, what's kind of the meaning all this, doing all these different battles and every situation like that. What does it all kind of lead up to? And you see, I guess also with this, that he's not going to be with the Guardians that much in this film since it's his film. No. He's not really going to be with them all that much. So you kind of have that. Then you see him, leaving them. And is it going to be kind of, you think, more of a buddy film, like with him and Korg? Because you see kind of like him, being left when the Guardians leave him. Korg is still there. What do you kind of think about that? Do you think it's kind of going to be a more buddy film with the two of them hanging out?
So, for the most part, yes. I think the Guardians will be in this movie 15 minutes tops. And I think that might even be being generous. I don't think they'll be in the film long. Okay, that's actually later on in the trailer. Never mind, I'll save that. But yeah, I think we'll see more Korg than we'll definitely see Guardians in this.
Okay. So you kind of see that. And then you also see a little quick glimpse of this city. That there is this supposed to be Zeus's kingdom? Is this supposed to be Olympus?
This
as they call it?
Olympus. Yeah.
Okay.
I think this is completely 1,000% Olympus. So, if you remember, and this is where we're gonna get into I'm gonna get into nerd shit here. With Olympus, Hercules and Thor have a really big fun rivalry throughout the MCU or throughout the comics. And I think if we don't flat out get Hercules in this movie, we're gonna definitely confirm that he's a presence in Olympus. It really makes sense. You have Zeus, it would be kind of weird to not at least reference Hercules here. Because I think we are getting more, the MCU's been very clear, Feige has especially, about how we're getting more cosmic. I mean, we're getting, Adam Warlock coming. We're getting, a Nova show. We're starting to expand more to these realms that we're not familiar with. So Hercules is a really easy candidate to have pop up here. Plus, Gore the God Butcher. What better place for him to kill a bunch of gods than Olympus? I feel like this is the beginning setup for a major action set piece. If you notice, there's that light that shoots across the sky when you get to Olympus.
Let me play it back. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So that could be Thor. That could be the Bifrost, because we do see here in a second where he's using Stormbreaker to activate the Bifrost, which we've seen that he can do in Infinity War. But that could be Gore too, ready to fuck shit up. So just because it's bright and sunny doesn't mean that that's not bad coming.
Yeah. Gore's gonna go Kratos style here. He's gonna just bash his head in, Zeus's head in, or something like that.
I mean, you got Christian Bale playing Gore. I don't think he's going to be like phoning it in. I mean, he didn't phone in for Salvation. I mean,
Yeah.
like he
Well,
could go off.
I mean, sure. I mean, yeah, that boom mic guy, he knows all about Christian Bale going off for sure. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Do you like the look of Gore? Because some people were kind of complaining about the way he kind of looks a little bit. Like,
So, yeah, because people were taking it off of fucking toys. Like, calm down until you actually see footage of him. Shut up. Like, have you seen how bad some of these toys look for merch? Like, like calm down.
yeah.
If he looks that bad when we get to the finished product, then yes, I will be like, what the fuck are you doing, Marvel? But until I see actual footage of him, I'm not freaking out.
Yeah, I'm pulling up the toy right now. You also had like a kind of a promo released image of him, a little bit like a poster. I'll try to pull up the poster here because I also think they released a poster for his character. This is kind of the best I got right here. But yeah, you always got to wait to see the movie because with his character, yeah, I mean, characters sometimes they always don't look the best in toys or promotional posters or anything like that. You really got to see the lighting for the movie and everything like that. So we see the city of them kind of whoever's there in Olympus. You also see Thor on a ship where he's doing his best, I guess, dash from Lost City impression here. I don't know, I just saw that movie that's fresh in my memory, Channing Tatum and Sandra Bullock, where he was like that cover model, dash and everything like that. He's got that hair flowing. Fabio kind of look going, open shirt, you know what I mean? Nice, sassy.
Which I love that. Well, what's cool about that is that those two goats that are pulling the boat are from Norse mythology and also from the comics. Tooth Gnasher and Tooth Grinder are what they're called in the comics. So they actually allow Thor to go ahead and travel to different realms. So if he's dropped off Stormbreaker by this point, which I feel like he has, there's your workaround as far as how he's still able to travel between realms. And if you slow down, that's the cocktail sign, cocktails and dance or whatever, or cocktails and I can't think. I'm blanking on the second word, but that's the same neon sign from Tom Cruise's Risky Business
on the ship.
Yeah, on the ship right there.
Let me see. Let me see if I can slow it down enough. This is kind of, I think, the best image I have. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah, this neon sign. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. From right there. Okay. I see what you're saying there. Who is this woman that he's kissing, you think? Is this some random woman?
So that, I have no clue. Okay. So I feel like they wouldn't show her unless, like, she's important. Like, it's such a random shot to put in here unless there's, like, supposed to be some context. So I have no clue. I'm very curious about who she could be. Like, it could be anyone, but...
Okay. Actress, I don't know. I don't have a really great look at her, but she doesn't look too familiar to me. Okay, you see a little bit of Thor. Looks like he's traveling. Then you see more of Olympus, it looks like. And then you see Zeus, but you don't actually see Russell Crowe. You just see kind of the back of his head a little bit. Yep. Do you know much of Zeus in the Marvel Universe? Like, what is the context of that character in the Marvel Universe?
So Zeus, from what I remember, like, Zeus is kind of similar to how he is in mythology. Like, sometimes he's cool and you're like, oh, thank God for Zeus. And other times you're like, God, Zeus is a fucking asshole. So it really depends on how they want to play him. If you go back slightly to Thor on the boat there,
okay,
that is a damn near pulled straight from the comics. I want to say that's the God of Thunder run, if memory serves, where that costume is almost straight from the comic, and it looks fucking fantastic.
Let me see if I can pull it up in images here.
There you go. Yeah. That's a great shot.
Okay.
That might be my favorite Thor costume already. Like that looks like the way the colors contrast, like with the navy blue, with the bright gold and the red. Like that's a beautiful color. That's a beautiful ass color scheme. Very much like Ragnarok, they're pulling a lot of imagery from like Kirby illustrations on Thor shit.
Yeah.
So, which they should keep doing because like color palette wise, it's some of the coolest stuff Marvel's done. But that new costume looks absolutely excellent.
Chill said random thought. Hercules ex chick. So that's how they're gonna start fighting. Yeah, it's Hercules' woman or something like that. Yeah. So you kind of see that. And then so Russell Crowe is playing Zeus. Let's see here. I'm surprised they didn't show his face. I mean, because Russell Crowe is kind of a big actor. I'm surprised they didn't show like who's playing. They didn't show like his face or anything like that.
We'll get there.
Yeah. So you kind of see that. And you see more of him and Korg. I don't know. Maybe it looks like they're in Olympus together, or maybe he found Korg there. I don't know.
So yeah, I think there's that shot where it's like four people walking. So it looks like it's Thor. It looks like it's Valkyrie. It looks like it's Korg, and it looks like it's Jane Foster. And I think that's a point in the movie, maybe right before the third act, where they're going to Olympus to warn the gods that that Gore is on the way. Because that shot we see later on of that creature that that Korg and Thor see, where that's actually a friend of Thor's from the comics, Thalagar the behemoth.
Really?
And
okay.
Yeah,
because I was going to ask you about that. Yeah.
So here's the thing: they are drawing pretty heavily from Jason Aaron's Thor run. That was like 2015, 2016, something like that. But he did about 100 issues of Thor, and it's one of the best runs of Thor Marvel's ever done. And it's drawing heavily from that. And the main villain throughout those 100 issues is Gore the God Butcher. So that shot of Thalagar is straight out of a comic, out of the comics.
I have the image pulled up right here. Yeah, you see it's shot, but it's the same exact image. Yeah, yep. I mean, shot for shot, it's the same image here. Just added Korg. Yeah, it's the same image. Yeah. Okay, that's really nice that they're doing that. Oh, okay, that's pretty nice.
Ika's a nerd, man.
Yeah, thank you for. I mean, that is a lot of knowledge, man. Thank you, bringing all that knowledge there. So you kind of see that because I was gonna ask you about that, who the creature was and why, kind of because you see Thor kind of looks a little shaken up when he kind of sees him.
And I love that shot of him looking that shook because like. That's a big deal. See a creature that big just laid out like it's nothing. It's like, oh shit, okay. I think this trailer, kind of in Marvel fashion, is definitely. Oh, can you pause right there? Okay. I think that frame in particular is definitely to show like Gore's not fucking around. Like, you know, this is all kind of fun and games for this teaser. I think we'll get a darker official trailer for our next go round. But that shot you had up of New Asgard.
Yeah. Put it back up.
So that shot's really interesting because there's actually quite a bit in there. So if you notice, so there's cruise ships back there.
Yeah.
So it's legit a tourist attraction now.
Yeah. That's a good point.
And then if you notice, it's starting to look more like the Asgard of old. You see, like there's like gold on the actual buildings now. So obviously New Asgard is actually doing well. And then the town there, and I'm not even going to try to say the name of the town, but where New Asgard is established there, that's the same spot that we get in the flashback in the first Thor, and that's also the same spot in Captain America: First Avenger where they find the Tesseract. So there's some history there.
Oh, nice. Yeah, because, so, the next shot is you see of this New Asgard. Where you see, it looks like tourist attraction. So that's how maybe they're getting some money to do the things they need to do in the town, in the place, and kind of have an economy there. Hang out with some true Asgardians, and then it also cuts to Tessa Thompson. This kind of board meeting. First of all, she looks amazing in this suit. By the way, looks really badass. I mean, Tessa Thompson just looks amazing in general. But
accurate.
So what is this? What do you think this is? Is this like a kind of world leaders type meeting, or because you see the different flags there as well. So it's like maybe like a world leaders type meeting. Yeah.
So if you go forward like a second, if you notice there's a renewable energy banner right there in that top right there. You'll notice like it looks like that's like a renewable energy thing that's being discussed there by all those leaders. What I find interesting about that too is if you notice in No Way Home, when they have like the Daily Bugle flashing, all those political stories. One of the stories that they actually flash is that there's unrest in New Asgard. So I'm wondering if this is actually discussion about that unrest that was actually referenced in No Way Home.
Okay. That's a good point. I see you talking about this kind of poster like that's to the right here in this corner, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you kind of see her. She kind of looks kind of bored, disinterested. Because you see at the end of Endgame, she got gifted to be the new ruler of Asgard. Thor's like, this isn't for me. Don't think I'm good at this. I'm gonna let you kind of take over things there. So she gave it to Valkyrie.
Can you go back? Can you go back to that walking shot there? So that's the shot I was referring to, because if you notice, there's two red capes there. So that's so at this point, Jane Foster's clearly in play. So maybe what might be the mind the trick is that this could actually be our third act instead of what we're seeing at the very end of the trailer, which we'll get to obviously. Two, very similar to Ragnarok, how Hela was talking about how, the gods have, miracles, spreading their lies and, misinformation. That's exactly what Zeus has right there as far as, a statue of himself. That's very much a thing, not just with the gods, but just with, humanity in general, which is exactly what Gore is fighting against. Because Gore's whole... it's too long of backstory, but the short version is basically Gore lost his family. He begged for the gods' help. They didn't help him. He gets power and goes, "Oh, the gods do exist. Fuck all of you. I'm going to kill all of you." So it's kind of like the story of Job if he actually lost his shit, basically.
Okay. So it has a lot of similarities. It does have a lot of similarities to something like God of War or something like that.
Yes, very similar.
Okay. You do see the two red capes, and you see Korg there as well. I don't think I see Tessa Thompson here. I don't think this other person to the far left is Tessa Thompson. I think that's some person of maybe Olympus, maybe. I don't think so. I think maybe the guide.
It could be. Okay. I think that's going to be a new costume for her. Is what I'm thinking, because I think she's going to end up leaving New Asgard at the request of Thor, because she realizes what a threat Gore could be to New Asgard. I think that'll be her out to get back in the fold.
Okay. Maybe leave Meek in charge. Yeah, maybe they have Meek be in charge while she's gone.
I could easily see that. Yeah. Which would be great.
All right. So you kind of see that. Then you see a nice little funny scene between him and Star-Lord. You know what I mean?
So good.
Yeah. If you ever feel lost, just look in the eyes of the people you love, and then he's trying to crane his head. I mean, it goes to show you, Chris Hemsworth is really good at comedy. I mean, he's found his real stride with comedy, like with Channing Tatum, or who's another guy that really was great in the past time we've seen, like a real kind of guy that was known for being really handsome, that was really good at comedy.
Somebody
else. Dang.
Fuck, why can't I think of anyone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of, I mean, Brad Pitt did it. I mean, he was the pretty boy for a while. Then he was like
Yeah.
transition and it's like, okay, I'll do some more dramatic stuff. And you see, like, he was kind of really
Oh,
good at
John
it.
Hamm. John Hamm. He's one of
John.
those dudes.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, John Hamm when he was in that movie Tag. I thought he was also, yeah, funny in that. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's been on SNL a lot doing shit. So yeah, like
Yeah.
he's one of those guys.
Yeah, funny guy.
Paul Rudd. I mean, he's handsome and he's funny. I mean,
Yeah,
there's
but he
no
started
doubt.
off as a funny guy, kind of. He started
Yeah,
off.
that's fair.
Yeah, people know him from a funny guy. So you kind of see that. Yeah, and nice. I love the Thor: Love and Thunder. The lettering, the words. That's beautiful. I love that. That's
Very
good.
He-Man. Very He-Man.
Yeah, so that fits in perfectly. 80s glam type thing. That fits in perfectly with that. Then after that comes the big shot of the trailer where you see that you see kind of Mjolnir, see somebody catching it. But with Mjolnir, it looks cracked. I mean, why do you think it looks like that? Why do you think it looks as cracked as it?
Okay, so all right, get ready for me to nerd out here. Let me take a sip of water here. So delicious. Okay, so couple things. Natalie Portman looks incredible. She's been putting in that work. Like her arms look like she's been in the gym, and so just out the box, credit to her for getting in shape to play the Mighty Thor. I'm hyped to see what she brings to the role. Couple things. As far as it still being cracked, if you remember, I think this is the version that Hela broke at the end of, or at the beginning of Ragnarok. So my theory is that the hammer itself, Mjolnir, the broken pieces have been in New Asgard untouched since Ragnarok. I think Jane is going to end up there doing research or be on a tour, and she's going to find herself worthy, hence Mjolnir coming back together and finding her. That's my theory.
Okay. That'd be very interesting. Okay. And you also see they're in like some kind of setting where there's a battle going on.
Which calls back to that's why I was telling you to call back to the part where Thor has that coat on. I think that's the same. This is the same scene. Yeah.
Yeah, because you see he's back with you said with the fur, and then he's not wearing the outfit that you see when he was on the boat with all the gold and blue and all this kind of other colors. Yeah, so you see that. You see her catching it, and you see her with the winged helmet. Yeah, classic Thor look there.
So, yeah. So, okay, leave it right there just for a second. If you notice in the top left.
Okay. I'll pull it back.
And if you notice in the background there. Yeah, just pull back just a little bit.
Okay, before she catches it or as she's catching it?
Yeah, right before she catches it. So if you notice there are those creatures in the background, and we're clearly, if not in New Asgard, we're on Earth because we see, cars and shit.
Okay. Oh,
here's my big swing, and I don't know if Marvel's going to do this, but we at least have to talk about the possibility. If you notice in the background there, those are very tentacle looking. Gore the God Butcher, the sword that he gets, not the ebony blade. I'm blanking on the name of the sword. But the sword that he gets is from a god, ironic enough, called Null, which is the god of the symbiotes. So, is Marvel going to actually pull the trigger and drop the word symbiotes in here? Because if they do, that goes ahead and really opens up the world to a potential, Venom sighting and or symbiotes being alive in the MCU, which would, when you're considering multiple realms, wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility whatsoever. But the fact they look symbiote looking, I do not think is an accident.
Okay. I don't think so. I don't think they're going to do the whole symbiote thing. Because I know, like, somebody was saying, like, there's a whole symbiote war, and there's, like, a symbiote god, and all this stuff. There's, like, a whole big thing with symbiotes and all that other stuff. I'm like, okay, I don't know if they're going to maybe go down that, but we'll see. So, yeah, we see catching. Yeah, good point. It could be on Earth because you see a car. Like, you see after she catches it, you see a car in the background, like a regular car.
Yeah.
So you kind of see that after she catches it. Yeah, like I said, her arms look a lot more toned, everything like that. Like, yeah, like definitely been putting in that work for sure. What much do you know about? So is Thor is like Jane Foster Thor just called female Thor, or is that like the
Uh,
name?
so she's called the Mighty Thor. So
Okay.
again, this goes back to Jason Aaron's run. Don't read it obviously before the movie comes out, but it's well worth your time. Long story short, and Taika's already confirmed this, so I'm not spoiling shit. But Jane Foster ends up getting cancer,
Mm.
and so because long story short, because of how strong she is just as a person in general, she's found to be worthy of Mjolnir. But anytime she goes ahead and becomes Thor, she weakens herself.
Mm.
So while she's so that's like the big juxtaposition of like how many times can she become Thor before she just, you know, breaks down. And so obviously Marvel never goes like follows the comics to the letter,
Mm.
but it's going to be interesting to see how they address that because let's keep it 100. I mean, Natalie Portman was fucking done. It felt like she was done with the MCU. She had moved on. Like, cool, I did that. On the bigger and better. I think the script's got to be fucking excellent for Taika to convince her to come back.
Mm.
Obviously, yes, I'm sure the check she got was quite delightful, but
Mm.
I don't know, man. I think she's gonna be much more of a presence than any of us are really aware of right now.
Mm. So, what do you think the future of kind of like with this movie and then this character of Jane Foster now is Thor? Do you think it is she's going to be coming in replacing Thor? She's going to be part of the Avengers? Do you think it's maybe just like a one-off thing of like, okay, maybe that? What do you think future wise they're doing with after this movie and with this character and what's going to happen?
So I think you can have multiple Thors. Like that's the other thing. It's not out of the realm of possibility to have two people. Like you could have Thor kind of being the swashbuckling, you know, almost like a traveling Captain Jack Sparrow. But
Mm.
Thor, you could have that. And I don't know. I don't think you bring Portman back just for one movie. Um, I think she'll
Mm.
be in a couple, personally. I mean, she's only 40. I mean, how, like, Robert Downey Jr. was, what, 53 doing fucking Iron Man? Like, I think she'll be I think she'll be in multiple films. I don't think she went through all this, like, working out and all that just for it to be a one off.
Mm. Okay. Yeah. It's interesting to see what they do. You think they? I mean, you think it's a possibility they kill him off with Gore the Butcher? You think they kill him off there?
So, okay. Hemsworth himself has said that, he doesn't, like, obviously he can't be Thor for forever. I would feel okay. I would love if they killed Thor, and I would hate it from this perspective. I really want him and Loki to interact again, but it would be almost beautifully tragic for him to not get that closure with Loki,
Mm.
considering what Loki's gone through. So, like, that's why I'm kind of like, I would love it, but I would hate it at the same time. Um,
Yeah.
Sorry, one quick thing that I forgot to bring up. Can you go to the 37-second mark?
Okay. Bringing up the trailer now. Going to the 37 second mark here. Hold on. Okay. This is like when the
Okay,
Guardians are leaving, right? Okay.
yeah. So I think this is one of the most important shots in the whole trailer for this reason. 30. Wait, was that 30 seconds? Wait, was that right? 37 seconds.
It's where
Okay,
Thor and Korg
maybe
are.
30. Yes, that shot. So they're pulling a No Way Home on this shit because the way that shot is framed, there's clearly someone else who's supposed to be in that frame right there next to Thor. I
Mm.
think someone's been digitally removed right there. I've
Mm.
got I've got two big swings. I think it's either Hercules, which as I mentioned earlier would make sense. The other one, which is the bigger swing, uh, I think it's better. I think it's Better Ray Bill. I think he's making his debut in this, considering we're getting most likely Thor variants. I think that's exactly who it is right there, and I would not be surprised at all if that's who it is. Because, like, we talked about it. Like in No Way Home, when you see that shot of Peter jumping at the lizard and salmon and all that, it's like the way that shot's framed. That's weird. Like, why would you have the shot be that empty? Yeah. It could be Loki too. It could very well be Loki, but there's a surprise there. Someone's clearly who's supposed to be there is not there.
They did tease him, Beta Ray Bill in Thor Ragnarok. A lot of people want him in there. Yeah, out of all the three options you name, I would want to most see Beta Ray Bill. Honestly, I'd mostly want to see Beta Ray Bill.
I just want to see what they do with Beta Ray Bill. Honestly,
yeah, I'd kind of really.
That'd just be fun.
Or maybe Thor Frog. Bring in Thor Frog. Bring in him.
Okay, if they do Thor Frog, let's fucking go. I'd be very happy with Thor Frog.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah, I think it was a pretty good trailer. I think it does what it's supposed to do, kind of get your teas excited for the movie. Solid. Do you think it's, out of all the comic book superhero movies coming out this year, what do you rank this one as one being you're most excited for?
Oh, God. The thing is, like, I'm hyped for really anything Marvel puts out at this point, because Marvel rarely does me dirty. Like, I just love just the brand and what they do. I'm really curious about what Multiverse of Madness is going to be, just because I want to see Sam Raimi, not do Spider-Man 3. So I'm pulling from Multiverse of Madness, but this one, I want to love this in the way that people love Ragnarok. Because I was like, I really enjoy Ragnarok, I just don't love Ragnarok. This is pulling from a lot of comic stuff that I'm familiar with and that I really love reading. So I'm maybe more excited for this than I am for Multiverse of Madness from that perspective. Yeah, so I they're close, but I might be more excited for this because I love me some Taika too. So
yeah, Taika, yeah, I love his work. Hunt for the Wilder People. Jojo Rabbit, What We Do in the Shadows. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I know. I mean, hey, him and Ryan Reynolds, they can't do movies together because they were in Green Lantern, they were in Free Guy. Him and Ryan, it's like gasoline and fire. It's like they shouldn't interact. It's like no, it's like when they come together, it's just too combustible.
One more quick thing on Zeus, and a subtle thing, but something that I think that I'm excited that Marvel's doing because it's very comic booky. They're starting to use color to go ahead and establish power bases so you can keep the shit straight. So if you notice, like, Agatha Heartless, her shit is, purple. Yeah. Same thing with Arthur in Moon Knight, Scarlet Witches is red. But the big thing, because, we've been introduced to the Eternals and the Celestials and all that, the fact that Zeus's thunderbolts and everything are yellow, that puts him right there in that celestial tier as far as being that god level of power, which makes sense, and then goes ahead and ties back to Eternal. So it's a subtle detail, but it's something, it's like, okay, you're establishing power bases with colors, so as an audience member, I can keep that straight, which is great. So, yeah, keep doing that.
Yeah. Odin's was also yellow, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
So how do they kind of keep that with Zeus, Odin, all these kind of big guys? Do they just kind of say like all these people are just basically aliens, basically, or descendants from Celestials, or? So
I'm curious how they'll explain it, because you could go Celestials. Obviously, you could just kind of use that as your like blanket for everything. Or you could go ahead and say, like, you could just drop the X gene. Because, like, Eternals gets really close to basically just saying they're fucking mutants. Like, they really hint at it at multiple points. Like, okay, so we could end up there, but I think right now it's very interesting that they're it feels like they're setting that up. Like, I would not be surprised if there was a very clear X-Men reference in here, because we've got to get there at some point. And Eternals really kind of set the table, especially with Pip the Troll and all that, and then some other elements. But yeah, I think with Olympus, we are going to get more backstory as far as just how the world and like these gods have been established. And you could easily throw in kind of this is a descendant thing independent of Olympus, and that could be your explanation for the X gene right there. So,
okay, all right, that was the Thor and Love and Thunder trailer discussion, breakdown, reaction, response, everything. Thank you so much, Hunter, for joining me, man.
Oh, anytime, man. I got you.
Thank you, people, for showing up. Thank you, Chill, for coming by, stopping by for the stream, man. Much appreciated. That was great. Impromptu stream going on, so I'm going to be getting out of here, and I'm going to be raiding somebody real quick. I'm excited for the movie. July 18th is when it's coming out, right?
July 8th, I thought?
Oh,
maybe
8th.
It's July 18th. Now you got me. Thor, Love and Thunder, July 8th.
July 8th. Okay, yeah. So that's pretty exciting.
Michael Giacchino's doing the music, so that's great.
Yeah, good for him. Him and Ludwig Göransson, I guess, are the two go-to people now for scores.
He's getting work, man. like good for him.
Yeah. I'm gonna be raiding Jumpmaster J. July 8th. He's gonna be playing. He's playing Elden Ring right now, so I'm gonna be raiding him. Awesome stuff. What do you got going on next time?
So I've got God, what do I have going on? So I'm reviewing everything ever all at once this weekend. I'm gonna have a review up for the Nick Cage movie. Have a review up for my Thor Love and Thunder trailer breakdown. There was actually some stuff that I am completely blanking on that I wanted to bring up, but I probably covered it in my breakdown. That's live right now. And, anything else? I'm going to have a review for the After Party coming up here soon, because I just started that, and I'm digging that show. So, some stuff coming down here soon.
Nice. Do you know that show Severance that's on Apple Plus? I keep hearing really great things about that with Adam, what's his name?
Adam Scott. 2 episodes in, fucking digging it. I would highly recommend you watch it.
Okay, yeah. I got an Apple Plus thing, so you might as well check it out, watch something on there.
Right.
Yeah, so Jumpmaster_J playing Elden Ring. I'm going to be rating him right now. Thank you, everybody. Don't forget to always stay tuned.